What's up, everybody? This is 8-Bit Eric, and you're tuned into the 8-Bit Eric Show, the best show on freaking YouTube. You just haven't discovered it yet. Let's begin the episode. Skate or Die is one of those NES titles that, for some reason, was popular during its time. This is one of the earliest skateboarding games I can remember playing in my childhood, and for some reason, me and my friends kept playing it, no matter how difficult it was. And for some reason, it was just impossible to do anything in this game. The control was outrageously awkward, horrible, sucks, was a piece of crap, whatever you want to call it. But for some reason, me and my friends continued to play this game. So what was it about this game that made it so popular, that made it a classic for the NES, even though it was one of the worst games I can remember playing? We're gonna go ahead and take a look at Skate or Die, published by Ultra Games in 1988. A great year. So what exactly made this game popular? Maybe it was the great cover art. Maybe it was that during the 90s, it was just the cool thing to be a rebellious skateboarding teenager. The cover art shows your typical skating kid complete with LA Gearish type of style and a gnarly helmet. Because safety comes first, kiddos. Let's start the game. $4.99. Think I paid a little bit too much for this game, but oh well. What the hell is that?
Híjole! Nearly gave me a heart attack. Take a look at that mug right there. That's a face a mother can love. He looks like Rodney Dangerfield with a bad mohawk. Anyways, let's take a look at some of the stuff on here. From here, you could choose from a variety of options. You can choose between competition mode or practice mode. The only difference is, in practice mode, the scores are not kept for each individual event. In competition mode, up to 8 people can sign up to compete who has the best score in each event. If you don't have at least one other person signed up, you'll only be competing with yourself. And since there's no other computers in this game, I guess I'm going to be playing with myself for this review. No pun intended. So let's go ahead and go practice. So outside the shop is a nice little hub area where the awkward controls already show you that this game is going to be a strange one indeed. And from here you can choose to skate in 5 special skateboard events. Let's start off with Freestyle. Now you begin with a nice view of a half pipe. The graphics don't look half bad. And as most typical NES sports games were at the time, the control is horrible. It is hard to time most tricks that are not done on the lip of the ramp. And at times, I find myself missing a lot of these, even knocking my own skater off the board into the concrete below. So let's check the next event out, the high jump. Well, it looks exactly like the Freestyle with the half pipe. The only difference is now you are competing to see how high you can jump. There's not much to it, besides tapping every single button to gain momentum.
Holy cow. My skater just went through the ground, Wile E. Coyote style. And look, nobody is even getting up to help. This is freaking hilarious. I mean, I guess it really is skate or die.
Look how long it takes, and my skater is just in a big hole, probably in China by now. Just another day at the skate or die games, I suppose. These guys don't screw around. They're hardcore. The next event is Jam. And no, not that one. Even though that one stunk it up pretty bad, it's still a little bit better than the control in this event. Jam has you competing one-on-one with another skater in a quick anything-goes race, with all sorts of obstacles that you have to avoid while racking up some mad points by either running over bottles and cans, performing tricks, and even beating the life out of your opponent. Goofy foot is my preferred method of control because it feels a little bit more natural to me. But then again, I guess I am just that kind of a goofy guy. It's hard to explain, but the controls, especially turning, can be quite difficult more often around the chain link fences. Neat thing about this event though, is while it is a race to the finish, you don't have to be first to necessarily win, since it's more about racking up some digits in the point column than making it to the end. The next event is the downhill race. Just like Jam, you have to choose from regular foot or goofy foot. However, this is probably the worst controlled event in the entire game. The turning control is most hyenaously difficult, and to pull off any tricks is near impossible. You will find yourself wanting to shut off the game about halfway through this race because it just seems thrown together. Now take a look at how many times I end up failing on this race. If you are willing to take a ride on the wild side, there's ramps, hurdles, and all sorts of knickknacks on this downhill track just to sink your teeth into, unless they hit the pavement first. Now last but not least, it's Joust. It's an event similar to the one in American Gladiators, except you and an opponent are charging at each other in an empty pool. You and the opponent, depending who you choose, which you could choose from 3 computer opponents or a second player, take turns for a certain amount of time, until all the rounds are up and the winner is declared. The controls are pretty much you push the A button and try to ram into your opponent while Joust is flashing. It is a little tricky to get the hang of it, and the computer easily knocks you down no matter what level of opponent you try.
All in all, this game was a popular game in its heyday. However, it has aged horribly. Now, if you're up for some old school gaming, then yeah, I recommend you should play it. However, Skate or Die, as I mentioned, has horrible controls. Lots of the time, I couldn't even perform any tricks at all. Now, it's a classic for a Nintendo collection, so if you want to complete your collection, this is a must-have. And the only reason why I say that is because this game was instrumental, because it's one of the earliest skateboarding games around. I believe that some of the features in it and the whole rebellious skateboarding attitude helped usher in a movement at the time of the early 90s, and it paved the way for future skateboarding games such as Tony Hawk and, you know, all those type of games. So, while it is a piece of crap game, it does have its place in history, which is why I give it 2 kick flips out of 5. And that's only because the game has aged horribly. Now, had this game had better control, then I think it would have aged a little bit better throughout the years, but unfortunately it did not. Well, everybody, that's it for today's 8-Bit Eric Show. This has been 8-Bit Eric. If you like this review, comment below, press like, and subscribe.